on that hard rock truth, giving you that hard rock truth back on that scene. Hope everyone is doing well. And I hope all my brothers and sisters are walking in the spirit of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's the Most High in Christ, because that's where it's at in 2025 and going forward. And I'm watching this situation unfold in California. They're trying to bring back the rights. How many times I've told you over and over that they are going to purposely agitate the public and have people on the streets. And I base this on Donald Trump being in office. They don't want this man in office. And I told you over and over that they're going to have people in the streets, and then he's going to bring in the National Guards or some form of enforcement. And people are going to view him as a dictator and the new version of Hitler. I said this many, many times. And that's the smart play to get him out of office. That's the smart play to get people to turn against him. But the only thing is that the nation is divided. The nation is divided big time, and it's not going to work because the one half is against same-sex unions, Trans Am storytelling times in the library to their children. They're against that. They're against this woke culture. They're against the mansy-pansy ideologies and people being saturated with feelings, and pretty much a rainbow transition from the old days to this current administration and new feely-wheely spirit, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to control what I say, but you get where I'm going. People are tired, and at the same time, the other side, they're tired. You understand? But it's gonna break, and I've been saying it for so long. It's gonna break. Be right back with you. It's just a matter of time. More people are walking in fear and doubt, and they have an understanding that this country is not going to last much longer. It's not going to last much longer. If the food doesn't run out, or if there's not total racial war in the country, or if they don't burn down the country, or if Russia doesn't shoot missiles at this country, I don't see how it can go on. I honestly don't believe that it will go on. It's just a matter of time. Let's just give it some time. You understand? But yeah, exactly, brother. I've been saying it for years, and this is the way they're going to do it. Or it can bring back COVID, and I don't think that's going to work because there's so much information. Excuse me, that there was a lot of lies in regards of COVID. And people don't trust the government now. People are in the spirit where they don't trust the government. But overall, people do not have any faith in the government anymore. You see what they're going crazy in California, man. They're going absolutely nuts in California and New York City. But this is a new administration. They're not going to let them burn down the country like they did in the Biden administration. They're not going to let that happen. So get ready for it. People are talking and complaining about, this IA crap. They're complaining about that, and just give it some time though. But take a look at what's happening in California. Bear with me one moment because it's getting out of hand. And wait till the real racist devils push back in support of Trump. Wait till they push back on these weenies running around the street, burning down police stations, police cars rather. Wait till they get loose. And like I tell you, brothers and sisters, over and over, just sit back and relax. Relax your emotions, relax your minds, relax. Don't get caught up into this foolishness. This is their war. And our war is within ourselves to do right and live spiritually with the Most High. You understand? Because every nationality desires to be with their own kind. You understand? Every nationality. So don't be fooled. It's natural to be somewhat racist or racist on a high degree or a high level. Check this out real quick that I found online. Check this out. Because I agree with this to an extent, but I believe people are naturally racist and they're more comfortable with their own kind. It says the ideal that people are safer with their own kind. See that? The ideal that people are safer with their own kind is a complex one. I don't think it's complex at all. People naturally feel safer with their own kind. Chinese feel safer with Chinese and bond with Chinese people. Japanese feel safer and comfortable with Japanese people and they bond with their own kind. And white people, to a large degree, feel comfortable with their people and tend to bond with their own people. It's only us so-called Negroes and Hispanics who try to associate and mingle and bond with other nationalities and look foolish. And then other Negroes will guilt trip you when you speak on this matter and you show them the reality of bonding with your own people, supporting your own people, building up your own people. Proof of this is when other nationalities come to this country. They support each other. They support each other and look out for each other. And they do well with each other. And they build each other up and they have strong communities. And they make sure their money flows and circulates within their communities among themselves. It's only blacks and Hispanics. Well, Hispanics, they're more family orientated than us, even though they are people. But it's mainly black people who are so divided and so crazy and so evil towards each other. Now, I know part of it is the curses. When you read about the curses, the Lord said a brother will hate his own brother. This is why you have a Magic Johnson. This is why you have a Michael Jordan. This is why you have an Oprah. Millionaires who cannot pool their money together and support black people and raise them out of the dumps. Part of it is the curse. And part of it is because the white man is their God and they fear the white man and going against them and helping their own people rise up out of the dirt and out of the mire and becoming a great nation, which will never happen in this country, which will never happen in this setup, which will never happen in your lifetime. It will happen after the coming of who you know as Jesus Christ. That's when it's going to happen. For now, you're just going to catch hell and you're going to continue to catch hell, bottom line. But anyway, it says the ideal that people are safer with their own kind is a complex one, often tied to the concepts like social identity and in a out-group dynamics. While there might be some comfort in familiarity, it says in shared cultural or ethnic backgrounds, the reality is that safety is not determined by ethnicity, or race. I disagree with this. See, this is a manzy pansy who put this together. True safety relies on individual actions and overall social environment and the presence of social support system, which can be found across all groups. This is a goddamn lie. I don't believe that at all. But here let's come down. Check out what I found when I scroll down a bit. It says social identity and in-group, out-group dynamics. People often have a stronger sense of belonging. Check this out. People often have a stronger sense of belonging and trust within their own social groups. Now, that's part makes sense. You see that? Family, friends share cultural or ethnic communities. So people feel comfortable. People feel safer. People walk with more understanding and bond with more understanding among their own groups. Chinese for Chinese, Japanese for Japanese, East Indians for East Indians, and white people, for the most part, with white people. It's quite natural and it makes sense. I'm not saying people won't cross lines. We see people crossing lines all the time, but people feel comfortable among their own. And people feel violated. People feel threatened. People feel unsafe when you have Hispanics, when you have Mexicans and people from Peru and people from Haiti crossing the border. So Donald Trump, in the eyes or spirit of so-called white people, is God sent. Donald Trump, in the minds of most Americans, is God sent. Because in their minds, in their feelings, in their emotions, they want to bond not just with their own people, they want to bond with the old ways. And the old ways was a white America. Make America white again. I'm not disagreeing on a lot of what Trump says. I agree with a lot of what he says. But at the same time, there's a double standard and there's lies mixed in a lot of what he says. Proof of that is the Doge. A lot of corrupt, wicked politicians and powers that be, people in the position of power, have been stealing money for decades. For decades, they have been stealing money. This should be of no shock to anybody. But I'm simply showing you that people tend to feel more comfortable among their own. Among their own. Bear with me one moment to get myself together. I'm not totally together yet. I see that, man. I see that clear as day. Look in prison. The different nationalities tend to mingle and stay with each other. This is what they do. You understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I think it's perfectly logical in my opinion, or what I'm seeing. Second paragraph, it says, this can lead to a feeling of safety when you are among the brothers in the KKK and commoners outside of so-called blacks are around you. You feel safer among your own people, and vice versa. So-called white people in an environment that consists of just or mainly white people tend to feel safer and comfortable among their own nationality. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is where the pressure is coming in. Because white people in America, they want Donald Trump to bring in the National Guard. They want Donald Trump to bring in the Marines. They don't want another summer of love where statues are torn down, cars are set on fire, businesses are trashed and burned, people are used, and I'm specific with that word, used, to run amok, because a lot of these riots are pushed or antagonized by outsiders who purposely want the riots in the streets, like Antifa and Black Lives Matter and George Soros, who was the puppeteer, along with others, to cause the riots to spiral out of control. This is the agenda, to cause America to fall, crash, and burn. Again, it says this can lead to a feeling of safety and comfort within these groups, as individuals may feel more understood. Who understands a white man better than another white man? Who understands the feelings and pains and sufferings of a white woman than another white woman? Who understands the feelings and sufferings and pains of a black man or a black woman than another black man and a black woman? I'm not saying that other nationalities are not capable of sympathizing or relating to what a black man or a woman is going through, but nobody on a high level can relate or experience or adjust or communicate to a black man or a black woman than another black man or black woman. I think that makes sense. I think that's logical and that makes sense. It says this can lead to the feeling of safety and comfort within these groups, as individuals may feel more understood. and less likely to be targeted by members of their own groups. You see that? Unfortunately, that doesn't fit us. You black man, because I'm looking over my shoulder for the black man to get me. I'm looking over my shoulder for the black man to rob me. I'm looking over my shoulder for the black man or Hispanic man to murder me on a higher level than the white man. But let's put into case there is race riots. Let's put into case that the system totally breaks down. That's a whole different war. That's a whole different dynamic. You understand what I'm saying? Whole different thing. And that's the point I'm making overall. You have to come to some sense of reality. You understand? Here's one of the environmental factors. Safety is also dependent on the physical environment where you're at. See that? Very important. Safety is also dependent on the physical environment, crime rates, infrastructure, social norms, and the presence of strong institutions, law enforcement, social support. Very important. And it totally affects where you live at and the people you do business with, how you get along. All these things matter. All these things matter. And you are fooling yourselves if you think that this is going to be a rainbow transition and everybody's going to get along and the violence is going to stop. The violence is not going to stop, especially in America. If Russia and Ukraine is at war and tens of thousands are dying daily, and it's civil unrest, there's just unrest, death, destruction, sadness, mourning. If all these things is happening between Russia and Ukraine, if the Pakistanis in India, they're at war, China, they're in the streets because they can't make ends meet and their government has their foot on their necks, and the tariffs are affecting them just as much or even worse than it's affecting America. The point I'm making is that fire and the feeling of pain and fear is not just in China or the Ukraine. It's all over the world. And people are preparing for World War III. People are angry at their leaderships in individual countries. If these things are happening abroad, what makes you think America won't experience this at some point? America will experience war at some point. Stop kidding yourselves. Only a fool thinks like that. Only a fool thinks that America will never go through any pain and suffering. Only a fool thinks that way. America is Babylon, and America must be judged. You can try to get away from it. You can try to pretend it's not happening. That's a fool's mindset. That's a fool's mindset to pretend that it's not going to happen, meaning the judgment. The judgment will come. It will come. Only the weak-minded and the weenie people with a weenie mentality and a weenie courage, those are the only ones who think in that capacity that it's never going to come. It's going to come. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to come. Everybody is on the move now, man. Everybody is going through it right now. Don't be fooled. California is the Most High's way of showing you that there's no future. There's no hope and there's no future. There must be judgment. And I'm glad. And I hope you brothers and sisters, you're glad and you're protected too, because the Spirit is going to protect you. But I'm simply showing you that don't be fooled about this rainbow and everybody coming together. That's a fool's man understanding, man. Only fools think that way. You know who thinks that way? Christians. They think that way. They think the blood of Jesus is going to spill on everybody and we're going to be one big rainbow of love. This man has not been in that mindset at all. In the history that he has walked this planet, the Edomites, so-called Europeans, they have never been in that spirit as far as love and respect and compassion for his fellow man on a large level. They have never been that way. I'm not saying it doesn't exist among them. I'm saying on a large level, they have never taken that posture on a large level. Now tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. You know damn well that that's the reality. That's the reality. Now check out this. He did an excellent job. I like how he interviews people, and he doesn't have a big setup or anything like that. But I like how he moves. Support his page or check him out. I'm going to check him out a lot more. I'm going to subscribe to his page. I hope he doesn't mind me using his information. But I'm going to definitely subscribe to his page though. You know, check it out.
Still fight for the legalization of.
Let me see if I can get that back up. Bear no more these damn commercials. Bear with me a second.
National Guard.
Why do you think they got sent out here today?
They got sent because we don't have a president that can lead.
What fears you most about Donald Trump and the ICE raids coming through here?
Before I go on, he said we don't have a president that can lead. How you see how stupid he sounds now? Because the leadership under Joe Biden, was that a better leadership? Did Joe Biden lead when he let millions of migrants flood this country, and veterans as well as brothers and sisters, white people, real Americans were shoved into a corner, and migrants who flooded this country were given paychecks, places to live, medical, children taken care of. But the average American, you got a damn crap. You got crap. So my point in this, and I'm not making Donald Trump a saint. I'm saying that the way he feels, the majority of Americans feel completely different. The majority of Americans hate what they're seeing happening in this country. They hate the fact that you have migrants in this country living off the government. They hate the fact that murderers and rapists and possible terrorists are in this country, and you will see terrorist activity at some point manifest itself in this country. Give it some time. You will see that at some point. And boy, when that happens, then you're going to see the fear. Because that too will be orchestrated. They want to crush and destroy this country. They want to do away with the Constitution by creating so much fear that you're going to want to give up your constitutional rights. They want to create so much chaos in this country that they want to hit the do-over button, but without the Constitution, and make everybody a slave to the feelings and emotions and greed of man and the spirit of Satan. That's the whole agenda. To create so much fear that you are willing to take a jab. You are willing to put poison in your veins. That you are willing to obey and follow the devil who will control this government at some point. If they're not controlling it already. The devil is not controlling it already. He is controlling it. That's the whole agenda. But people are so dumb today, you can't trust what comes out their mouth because the majority of it is emotions. Check it out.
I don't fear that motherfucker. Have you seen our community? I don't feel that motherfucker.
There ain't none of fear. Donald Trump. Homeboy on a motherfucking real that piece of shit.
What's the water for?
Diffuse tear gas. If needed. Yeah. If you throw a canister in one of these, it should diffuse it enough or at least stop the chemical reaction.
I saw the LA.
What makes you want to come out here with the Honduras flag out here?
I mean, these are my roots right here, you know? This is where my family came from. I'm a first gen.
A lot of people wonder on social media, why are people coming out here with other nationalities' flags? If they don't like America, why don't they go back to
I love America and what it represents. You know, the idea of America to our people is a better future and an opportunity to have a job and create something that in our homes we don't have, you know? So we love America. We want to be here. We want to contribute, you know? And I agree, the people that have committed crimes and, you know, like an actual crime of, you know, murder, something like that, I can agree with that. You know, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say, no, keep everybody here.
Yeah.
But the people who are here, hardworking people.
Right now, do you think it's right for them to go after the most dangerous people like they say they're doing?
I mean, I don't see nobody here has attacked them. And they initiated all of this. We're peacefully protesting. They're the ones that come out with riot shields. They come out with billy clubs and all kinds of shit. I don't know who's the aggressor here, but it ain't us.
You! I can't wait to know you! Take off your badge, big boy! Take off your badge! Coward! Get that shit in my fucking face!
Okay. That guy's yelling at the ICE officials for being a coward for wearing a mask. Meanwhile, he also has a mask on. What's your message to the police officers in the National Guard right now?
They've got a choice. They don't have to do this fucking shit. That's it. They can either be American citizens or they can be what they're doing right now.
You don't think they're acting like as American citizens?
No.
Do you think they're trying to protect the country or make it a more dangerous place?
What do you mean? Like, this is way, way beyond what it needs to be.
Something's about to break out real soon. If these people keep taunting the police officers with all these other flags, all these other words they're saying to these police.
They got Mexicans in America. Mexicans in America burning the American flag and hoisting up their own flags. You have one iconic picture of what looks like a Hispanic. I'm going to guess he's a Mexican. I'm going to guess. Well, he is American. He is a Mexican. He's on top of a car waving a Mexican flag. You're going to see it all over social media soon. All over social media, you will see that picture. Now, how can you hold up the Mexican flag? I'm in Mexico, by the way, right now. I'm in Mexico as we speak. I love coming to Mexico. But let me say this first of all. I'm in Mexico now. I'm walking around. You won't even think that all this stuff is happening in America. The way people are drinking and partying and just enjoying their vacation, you would never even think the things that are happening in America are actually happening. You would not think that. That's how crazy it is. That's how crazy it is. But you know, that's neither here nor there. The point is, they are burning the American flag and hoisting up the Mexican flag. The same thing in New York. You know, the college campuses, not just in New York, but throughout the country, they were flashing and waving other flags outside of America and burning the American flag or trashing it. They was pro-Gaza and anti-American, showing you that this country is on her last leg. You would have never had that in the 50s and 60s. You'd have never had something like that. But look where this country is going now. Look where this country is going now. You can't tell me I'm crazy. I'm not seeing what I'm seeing. And a lot of you brothers, you know what you are seeing. You know what you're seeing.
These officers in that National Guard, something's about to happen.
You guys suck! Christy Lewis, boys suck! Donald Trump, f*** you!
I can tell you're very upset.
Of course we are. Yeah. We feel some burning in the eyes right now upon arrival here. Everybody be prepared. We still fight for the legalization of all in occupied territories. This was indigenous land. This was Mexico. This is ours.
That's 100% true. they fighting the white man. He's so bold. He takes land that doesn't belong to him, and he tells other people, "You can't come into that land." Not only that, he rips off and robs. Historically, he rips off and robs the other cultures and countries outside of America. This is the nature of the beast. And what's crazy is that the beast has turned a lot of our children into beasts. I was talking to brothers yesterday that I was listening to rap music. And do you know that 90% of it, 90% of the rap music consists of murder, consists of glorifying murder, rather, consists of praising the weapons you use to commit murder, music showing how you mistreat your own women and degrade your own women and freak out your own women. Music about drugs and music about just all the evil you can think of. And then the women do the same thing. They just over sexualize. Over sexualize. A man has to be 6'3". He has to have 16 inches of PP. He has to have 6 figures and better. He has to drive the latest cars. Everything is materialistic, based on sex, based on murder, based on getting over. This is the American way. And a lot of these Latinos that come to this country, they convert to the same ideologies, whereas they come from a culture where family is everything. Family is priority. And as time goes on, they become alcoholics, drug addicts, and they fall into the natural culture of being a beast. But yet America is the greatest country in the world. Everybody wants to be an American. It's the greatest country in the world. If you want to be a devil and a demon, it's the greatest country in the world. If you want to be under the influence of Satan, it's the greatest country in the world. It is.
Turf. These motherfuckers. Free them all!
Stolen people on stolen land. Black people were stolen. And it was taken from the indigenous. Stolen people on stolen land.
What's your message to ICE and to the federal government today?
You hardly see any black people out there. You know why, right? You hardly see any Southern brothers out there, including Haitians. You know why, right? Because they don't support us. Yet the white man throws them in the ghettos with us. They don't support us. Yet they fill the jails with us, but they don't support us. They don't support us. Yet the white, crooked, racist cops will bust open their heads just as quick as they bust open the heads or would bust open the heads of a black man. They will give their daughters to the white man before they give their daughters to the black man. So black people, they're not totally stupid. They're not totally stupid. I've seen videos where black people are encouraged not to support so-called Latinos, not to march with them, not to support them, because they don't support us. They think that they are white. Not all of them now. I'm not saying all of them. A lot of them think that they are white. I'm in here in Mexico now. Man, these dudes don't make no money. No money. I give a tip. Every time I eat, I leave a $3 tip. I get drinks, I leave a $3 tip. They grab that money. That's only $3. But they grab that money because the Yankee dollar, the American greenback, the American cheddar still has power. Still has power. It's still recognized as the top currency on this planet. I know they're going to have movements to try to offset the dollar, but right now it still has power. Right now, Esau, the so-called white man, he still has power till Christ comes back. Oh, but Kwashi losing their power. Huh? They're losing their power. They are losing their power, but they still have the power. You still have to pay taxes to the devil. You still have to get a passport to leave this country and to go into another country. You got to do all these things. Look at this thing with this real ID. I didn't even know about that today. I flew in today and someone mentioned to me to check out the issue on real ID. You know, you cannot travel locally as of May 7th unless you have real ID. You have to have a star on your driver's license now to travel to Texas, Florida, Philadelphia, DC by plane. You will have to have that unless you have a passport. Didn't know this. Then I started reading up on this thing. I don't want that. They trying to say it's harmless. It's so we can track the migrants. That's one reason they're doing it. So these migrants can't use these driver's license to vote. Do you know that a lot of migrants, over 1 million migrants, I believe that's the number, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of migrants were issued Social Security cards, even though they're not citizens, as a form of work ID or allowing them to work. Did you know that? So if over 1 million migrants got phony Social Security cards, why couldn't they get phony driver's licenses? Why couldn't they get that? Why couldn't they get phony driver's licenses and SS cards, Social Security cards, to vote Democrat and give the Dems power for eternity? Why is that so hard to believe? That's not hard to believe. Let me show you right here. I don't know what's going on with this system. This system is going crazy, man. Okay, I think I got it up there. Let me see. Right there. Crazy, man. But they're thieves and liars. Thieves and liars. Did it share? Let me see if it's share. All right, it's right here. Check this out. Now, I didn't know. And this was started in 2008, 2005, I believe, around the time of the Patriot Act, to put a lockdown on the terrorists. But look at this real quick. It says the Real ID Act of 2005 established federal standards for state-issued identification documents, primarily focusing on security for federal facilities. So unless your ID has this stamp, if your ID, in other words, doesn't have this stamp, you can't fly. In certain federal buildings, you cannot enter. Did you know that? Did you know that? I did not know this. I did not know this. It says primarily focusing on security for federal facilities. See right there. Again, focusing on security for federal facilities and commercial flights. You cannot fly now. And they are not playing, because when I went to the airport yesterday, I questioned that thing. And if I didn't have my passport, I'm going to Mexico. I'm in Mexico now, so that's you need a passport to go to Mexico. But let's say hypothetically, I was flying to Baltimore or Florida, they would have stopped me. They would have stopped me in certain federal buildings. They're going to give you a hard time going to certain federal buildings. But the point is, I was listening to what was it? I can't remember what it was. It was something online on YouTube. It wasn't Alex Jones. It was some other channel. I can't remember the name of the channel. But anyway, they were saying people are not comfortable with this because they're saying that this is a way that they can track you and probe into your personal life. Then you had the others trying to water it down. Well, they're just asking for a little bit extra information. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Another thing they have at the airport is facial and eye recognition. I went through the whole process. Like an idiot, I went through the whole process to try to save money and time. When I realized what they was doing, it was too late. They can scan your face and your eyeballs. And you don't have to show anything. You just walk up to the front. The camera picks up your facial recognition your eyes, and you just go through. You don't need to show anything after that because you're already scanned in your passport. China's been doing this. China tracks down people through facial recognition. Facial recognition has been around. And I believe they use it on the low in America. If you rob or steal or you're a terrorist and you're in a crowd of people, the system can pick you up by getting a glimpse of your face. This whole system is going to flip upside down and turn totally demonic. I heard with AI now that it's programmed to not shut itself down. You cannot challenge it or shut it down in the next 10 years and plus. They know what they are doing. They know what they are doing. This is getting so bad in this country that Donald Trump, I forgot what it's called, a golden umbrella, something like that. They want the same Iron Dome type system in this country because they know that America is hated. They know that terrorists and sleeper cells are in this country. They are preparing for war. They're preparing for war. You are an absolute fool if you think that this is not going to happen, man. You're a fool if you think this is not going to happen. You damn right it's crazy out there, man. It's crazy. But they have the technology to find people in that crowd as terrorists. They have that technology, and they will unleash it at some point. It says, while proponents emphasize enhanced security, critics raise concerns. Critics raise concerns about privacy, arguing that the act could lead to a national ID system and data tracking. Data tracking. These people are not stupid. Those riots out there, they're not staged, but they are enhanced. They are provoked by people who are paid to go out there and riot and cause anarchy out there. Privacy concerns says critics argue that the act could create a national database of personal information, raising concerns about government tracking and potential misuse of data. This is getting real, man. This is getting very, very real as we speak, man. And you got dumb people who don't understand. Stay away from dumb people. Don't hang around dumb people. So avoid dumb, stupid people.
Just the message, just straight up, is just this government is fucking corrupt as fuck. People need to fucking start realizing that shit. And fucking, we need a fucking factory reset. We need some justice up in here. Just for everybody. Straight the fuck up. You know what I mean?
You have lots of tattoos, and people oftentimes interpret tattoos with being part of a gangs and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been checked for gangs or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm focused on some other shit right now. I'm not worried about that, though.
You're not worried about that? No. So essentially all that's happening right now is that ICE, police, DHS, and the National Guard are just holding a line here outside this federal building. Protesters.
You know what? You're right. The brother said they claim you can still fly, but you got to show at least a utility bill, etc. But all of that are the beginning steps to the new world order. That's right, brother. That's what I was about to say. Remember when Easy Pass first came out? I said, hell no, I ain't getting no goddamn Easy Pass. They ain't going to track me. But you know what they did? They had all, like, let's say hypothetically, they had 10 lanes going into Jersey, or going into Jersey from New York, and you have the Lincoln Tunnel and you got the Holland Tunnel. What they would do, you got 8 lanes where you could show your Easy Pass or just go through with Easy Pass, and the other 2 is a long ass line. They make it very difficult for you to get from point A to point B unless you come under the umbrella or the wicked system of Satan. They make it very difficult for you. If it's not that, if you go to Walmart, you don't see cashiers at Walmart like you used to see them. You see Self-checkout. At one point, you had half and half maybe. You had the option to go and have someone ring your stuff up for you, or you can go to self-checkout. But look how fast that went away. At some point, there's not going to be anybody to take your stuff or scan your stuff for purchase. You see where I'm going? Everything is becoming digital where they can track you. They know what they are doing. You can't have no illegals in this country undocumented. That's totally insane. How are they going to use the New World Order when people are floating around undocumented? Can you imagine that? They said it's so bad that you got people that's in this country that they don't have any type of identification. They come from one country to this country. You don't know Jack Daniels about them. They could be the damn mad bomber. They could be the Superman of all terrorists just coming in here. They have zilch as far as who they are, where they came from in reality, and how many crimes they committed, and how much of a terrorist or anti-American they are. They have absolutely that in this country at this point. And by large numbers. You are a damn fool if you don't believe that exists. So this man's kingdom is through. His kingdom is finished. You have to have order in any organization or any country, bottom line. You have to have that. And this devil knows this. He knows this. He has to stop this thing. He can't let this get out of control, but it's not our fight, like I said earlier. It's one side fighting another side. It's one group against another group, and at the top, they're fighting for control of who's going to control the money and whose pockets that money is going to go into. It's just that the Most High, he is controlling everything. Remember I said that we're divided, and the country's divided, and people they naturally feel comfortable going to their own people. Remember I said that earlier? I'm going to show it again real quick. Check it out right here. It says, no, that's the wrong one. Let's go up a little higher. Come down. It says, right here, it says, social identity in group, out-group dynamics. It says, people often have a stronger sense of belonging and trust within their own social groups. Family, friends, shared culture, or ethnic communities. People feel comfortable among their own people, even though this is a little different because it mentions friends and shared culture. I don't care if they're your friends. You're going to feel more comfortable among your own people than other people. The prophecy in Isaiah 13:14 says, and it shall be as a chase roe. And it, meaning the wicked, shall be as a chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man, see this? They shall every man turn to his own people and flee everyone into his own land. At some point, according to prophecy, people are going to turn to their own people because they're going to feel comfortable among their own people. They're going to fight, rob, steal, murder, kill with their own people. And at some point, people are going to flee to their own land. That's the bottom line. People are going to want to be among their own people. Bottom line. You understand what I'm saying? So only the Negro man, he's the only one out of his mind trying to be a rainbow. He's the only one trying to be a damn rainbow. And the Most High is telling him you don't have to be a rainbow. He's the only one. Second Ezra, the 15th chapter and the 17th verse, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. It's going to come to that point. Men and women are going to want to go into other cities. You might have family in other cities. You might have a business in another city. You might have something that you need to deal with in another city. I'm talking about in America. A man shall desire to go into a city and should not be able. 18th verse says, For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. What's happening in California? The city is troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. This is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Look what's happening in California. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. See that? A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. See that? When the food run out, they're not going to be just taking TVs. They're going to have to be taking food, water. You know, these Chinese are talking about or putting out the threat. We got people in your country. We can shut down your power grids. Last week they was talking this crap. Last week. We can shut down your power grids. What's going to happen when the power grids shut down? Because I'm telling you that's going to happen next. And I don't believe it's just going to be China. I think it's part of it will be China, but I think it's going to be test runs. You're going to have a couple of test runs to test the will and the fortitude of the citizens of this country. And when that happens, you think that blacks, whites, Chinese, East Indians, and Africans are going to come together in love or as Americans? You're a goddamn fool. Because before you come together as Americans, you're going to go to Chinese or Chinese. You're going to go to Japanese or Japanese. You're going to go to blacks and whites and Chinese and all those together. You're going to try to mingle in those groups. And they're going to say, get the hell out of here. You're going to have black people that's going to try to mingle with other nationalities. And they're going to say, get the hell out of you. Get the hell out of here. And you're going to have some Hispanics. They're going to try to be white. And the white man's going to say, get your blah, blah, blah out of here. Get the hell out of here. And you're going to have no choice but to bond with the so-called black man because you're going to be in the ghettos just with them. And they might fortify their neighborhoods or lock us in our neighborhoods and keep us and Hispanics out of their neighborhoods out of fear. They just might do that. They might just lock the ghettos down and put the National Guards at the gate of the ghettos and tell you to starve there. And what's going to happen there? It's going to be Ungawa black power at that point. What's going to happen then? You're already divided. You already have self-hatred. You already think low of yourselves. So you're going to start killing each other. And then the Klansmen, they're going to come and they're going to put you down as well because you're a threat now. Like animals, they're going to put you down. Give it some time. You still got basketball and baseball and football and hot dogs and apple pies and American lies. You still got that right now. So right now, you don't think it could happen. You don't think that could happen. But just give it some time. Give it some time. Just give it some time. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. See that? And for great tribulation. That's what's happening. That's what's going to happen. Great tribulation is what's going to happen in this country. And we see it. Look how fast this hit. This is nothing compared to what's going to come. Could you imagine if there was no bread? Could you imagine if there was no water and they were riding for bread and water? Could you imagine if there was no shelter and they were riding for shelter? They would go 10 times harder than they're going now. Think about it. What would you do if you didn't have bread and water and food and light? How much would you trust in Scripture if you didn't have the bare necessities to sustain yourselves and your families? What would be your reaction to your own brothers? What would be your reaction to the heathen? What would be your reaction in general? How would you deal with that? Are you even prepared to deal with such anguish and pain. Are you really ready for that? I don't know, man. I don't know at this point. It's hard to imagine how we move and think and or what happened. You don't know a man until you know what he needs. That's the old saying. You don't know someone until you know what that particular person needs. You don't. So all I can say is just don't give it some time and let's see what happens. But they're getting ready for that new world order, man. We've been saying it for years. For years, we've been saying this. For many years, we've been saying this. And everybody talks looks at us like there's something wrong with us. And we say, no, ain't nothing wrong with us. Something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. People often have a stronger sense of belonging and trust within their own social groups. I believe it's nationality. That's what I believe it is. Check it out. See what he's saying.
Absolute chaos in Los Angeles this weekend as anti-ICE rioters took to the streets in protests of federal immigration raids. Watch. For 3 straight days, we have seen protesters, most of whom were wearing masks to hide their faces, clash with police, throwing just about anything from cinder blocks to hammers at law enforcement in response to ICE arrests throughout the city. It all started Friday night when agents captured what they are calling the worst of the worst. Some of the migrants arrested have been convicted of crimes ranging from assault to drug offenses. One arrest includes a gang member convicted of murder after shooting up a high school graduation party, killing 2 teens and injuring 7 others.
Let me tell you something. White folks ain't going for that, man. There's no way American white people and even certain blacks and certain Hispanics, they're not going to go for this woke stuff. They're not going to go for this support for these migrants. They're not going to go for it. Because bottom line is that everybody wants better for them and their families. Everybody wants safety for them and their families. Everybody wants to earn a decent living for themselves and their family. They want clean neighborhoods. They want clean people. They want decent, hardworking people among themselves. So to know that a rapist might be living next door to you, to know that a pedophile might be living next door to you, or a drug dealer or a drug kingpin may be living next door to you, when you work hard, you read your Bibles. I'm not talking about just Israelites. I'm talking about even the foolish Christians. You don't want that next to you. You don't want that in this country. You know how painful it is to watch your child die? Do you know how painful it is if the police gave you a phone call and told you that this man on the screen violated your child sexually? Do you know the amount of damage that can do to your child? If this man, I'm not saying he did it, but he's accused of some crime, but do you know the amount of mental damage, spiritual damage is caused to a child who is sexually molested and traumatized? Or it could be your wife. What would you do if your daughter was violated by this man? What would you do if your sister or your wife or your mother was violated by this individual or some individual who snuck into this country? Could you forgive that individual? Could you look the other way? Could you read a couple of Bible scriptures and forget that? Or could you get your Glock or your Tech 9 and put 3 into them? What would you do? Brother? What would you do? Sister? Could you just ignore a situation like that? So I'm saying on another level, you got straight up racists in this country who were at one point prior to 2019 were living comfortable, and they're seeing not only is their safety levels going down, but their financial levels are plummeting. That that social values or family values are being destroyed in this country. They see these things happening. They see that it's no longer a nucleus family that thrives and is an example of familyhood. They see that husbands no longer get respect. They see that husbands no longer can provide for their families. They see that husbands can't walk their daughters down the altar to a decent man because the whole country is upside down. So they're not going to tolerate this. Even us as black men, we're not going to tolerate the worst of the worst. We know America is going to crash, but at the same time, we have to live in America. I argue this point with a brother all the time. Even though we're in captivity, even though this man is losing his power, he has not lost absolute power. We still have to pay taxes. We still have to pay mortgages. We still have to pay rent. We still have to buy groceries. We still have to pay off car notes. We have to buy car insurance or pay for car insurance. We still have to do what we have to do to make ends meet in the country, in captivity, in this hellish condition, in the judgment of the Most High toward America. We still have to do these things. Enjoy the fruits of thy labor. But at the same time, Isaiah 33 verse 6, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. I saw a report by Economic Ninja. He said, everybody hold back your money or spending your money for 90 days. Then I was watching Alex Jones, somehow not hypothetically, out of the blue, he said he predicts America will be at war in 3 months. It's funny. It's kind of funny how both is kind of saying the same thing of something jumping off within the next 3 months. Hey, listen, I'm not saying to do what I do, but bottom line is everybody has to be smart and everybody's going to have to figure a way to survive while this man goes down, because this man is going down. This country is going down. At the same time, you have to find a way to survive as it's going down. That means spending your money wisely, but at the same time, enjoying the fruits of your labor, Most High's will. That's a matter of obeying the powers that be. Romans 13, 1 on through. Don't argue with the cops when they pull you over. Show them your ID. Don't get into domestic disputes with your wife or with your husbands. Humble yourself and walk in the spirit of the Most High. Don't be in the club partying with the idiots, because Satan is in there with the idiots. And you, as a servant and soldier of the Most High, Satan would love to get you and knock you out the box. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Check it out.
Sunday morning, hundreds of National Guard members were on duty in downtown LA at the request of President Trump, who says he will do whatever he can to bring peace back to the city.
This AI transforms a kid's photo into a personalized
Oh, man.
parents will pay for.
I heard he's bringing in not just the National Guards, the Marines is next. He ain't gonna let that sum of love thing happen again. They crying. They saying that he's agitated the situation by bringing in the National Guards. It's not what he's doing. He's not going to let things get out of control like when Biden was in office. Not that I care. I know what it is. The people that put him in office, they don't want the summer of love or burning down police stations, tearing down statues, burning down stores. They don't want that. They don't want that. The people who put him in office. And everything he said he was going to do, he pretty much is doing it. So to let them burn down the cities is a sign of weakness. To let the migrants run amok in the country, that's a sign of weakness. To let people of color run around and do what they want to do, it's a sign of weakness. And the white supremacists and the white Americans, they don't want that. That's why they voted him in office. Most people in America are against migrants in this country. Look up the polls. The polls show they don't want it. And you got a lot of black people and Hispanics who feel the same way. Look it up. Get out your feelings and look it up. Even the devil, he wants to survive. A roach or a rat or a snake is going to try to protect itself and defend itself if it's put in a situation where they have to do that. These people are fighting for their survival and they're fighting to keep America alive. And at the same time, the Most High is making an example of America, showing you that America is Babylon, America is Egypt, America is the fourth beast, is Rome. America must be destroyed. America must be destroyed. Bottom line. You can get in your feelings and your emotions, but that's the truth of the matter. America must go down. I'm just simply saying prepare yourself for the worst before it's destroyed. Because the worst before it's destroyed is a tactic that the devil will use to crush your faith. Whether it's vaccines, whether it's jobs on the line, whether it's whatever, to make you compromise your righteousness for becoming a common worldly Negro, a common worldly Puerto Rican or Hispanic. Don't let the pressure compromise your spiritual values.
And we'll be very, very strong in terms of law and order. It's about law and order. We're going to see what we need. We'll send whatever we need to make sure there's law and order. Meantime, California Governor Gavin Newsom formally requesting the administration rescind their, quote, unlawful deployment of troops to LA, going as far as to say, quote, creating mass chaos and militarizing cities are acts of a dictator, not a president. Police arresting at least 27 people on Sunday. They have declared all of downtown LA a, quote, unlawful assembly area, meaning anyone who enters that area could be arrested as well. Back over to you. Unbelievable what's taking place. Thanks so much, Todd. What's kind of amazing is he really is the story of one country, two different philosophies when it comes to legal immigration. You got a mayor and a governor elected rightfully, and he said legal immigrants are just like anybody else. And we're a sanctuary state, we're a sanctuary city. You have all the rights, and we'll go out of our way to make sure you're not arrested. We got a president that got elected because he's going to enforce the border and get rid of illegal immigrant criminals first and the rest along the way. There are 660,000.
You know, you got to look at it this way too. You got to look at it. The fact that they're burning police cars is a smack in your face saying we don't respect your authority. We don't care about your arrests. We don't care about your power. It's a smack in the face. It's just something I just noticed though. But you got to look at it from that perspective as well.
Illegal immigrant criminals. We're going to show you a roster shortly of some of the people that were arrested and scooped up. But ICE, in the eyes of these perhaps illegal immigrant rioters, are the problem, not the solution.
It sparked a war of words between Gavin Newsom and President Trump over the weekend. Gavin Newsom does not want these 2,000 National Guard troops sent in, the president sent in over the weekend. But yes, as Brian was saying, when you look at some of these criminals that were scooped up, these are people who are here illegally. Here are some of their charges: burglary, sexual assault, sexual sexual battery, receiving stolen property and theft, cocaine distribution, conspiracy, controlled substances, assault with a deadly weapon, obstructing officers, assault with deadly weapon with great bodily injury, firearm discharge, spousal battery, child cruelty, DUI, semi-automatic firearm assault, second-degree murder, grand theft, larceny, and possession of a weapon, narcotics distribution, and domestic violence.
So you got people that are violent criminals that are in California, in Los Angeles, and the Trump administration is doing the promise that they got elected on, which is getting the criminals out of our country. So you got the local, you got the federal agents that are on the ground, and then a mob attacks them. They get on the radio to talk to the Los Angeles Police Department, and someone in the higher echelon, the chief or someone, tells the officers not to respond to the calls for help from ICE. So you got federal agents that are surrounded, and now they've been made the enemy. You got the Mexican president calling for protests. How about you come get your people out of our country?
You heard that? You got the Mexican president. God damn, boy. Babylon is cooked, man. I'm telling you, Babylon is definitely in a different position than she's ever been in, man. But I'm not gonna keep going because I know they're gonna give me a strike for playing so much of the news on this channel. But man, that's something, man. But listen, man, you gotta keep the faith. Just keep the faith, brothers and sisters, because let me tell you, man, this is not looking good for the people who love this country, man, or love this system. It's not looking good for them at all, But I tell you, brothers and sisters, this, man, this is a roller coaster. This is a roller coaster, and it's not stopping, man. The Most High, it's the Most High. Most High, He's in the power, and the Most High, He's gonna show His power. He's gonna show His power, and when we're delivered out of here, the ones of us who make it, we're gonna look at this as one of the greatest stories to tell our children, man. And that's the day the Most High destroyed America, aka Babylon. The day the Most High destroyed America, aka Babylon, and it's gonna be a glorious time. It's gonna be a glorious time. As sure as I'm talking to you, I believe it. And you got the unbelievers; they don't believe. And that's fine. You don't have to believe. But I believe that all of this is God's judgment. It's God's judgment, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's going to get worse and worse as time go on. And all unbelievers, they can stay where they're at. They can continue to walk in disbelief. They can continue to do that, but prophecy shall fulfill itself. And I rather walk spiritually than to walk like an idiot. You understand what I'm saying? I rather walk spiritually than to walk like an idiot, because there's safety in trusting in the Most High. There's safety in believing in the Most High. It's when you come outside of the Most High, that's where you're going to have issues. You're going to have issues. Anytime you come out the Most High or try to do the opposite of the Most High, that's when you're going to have problems. Sorry. You can always have problems when you come outside of the Most High. So don't be a fool. Don't come out of the Most High. Stay in the Most High and do what's right in the spirit of the Most High. I'm trying to share a scripture. I don't know why it won't let me do that. I don't know why. But yeah, like I said, I'm in Mexico right now, man, and it's a beautiful country, man. Beautiful. Water's beautiful. It's like being in the Caribbean, and I'm gonna enjoy myself while I'm in captivity. I'm gonna find ways and means to enjoy the fruits of my labor, but I'm gonna be careful as well. And I suggest you brothers and sisters do the same thing, because when you just caught up and you're not really doing something different or serving the Most High and having some leisure time, it can get to you after a while, man. I found myself really going after the stupid brothers and sisters that I had to deal with daily. And, sometimes you need a break, man. You need new things in your life to transpire, in other words. In other words, like let's say hypothetically, you move Now you got to buy furniture, and you go through the thrill and excitement of finding furniture to put in that place. And you buy, if your money is kind of tight, you might buy some dishes. You might buy some forks and spoons from the 99-cent store. You keep things moving, man. You keep things moving. And that applies to you sisters too. You can't just sit there and be miserable and angry. You got to find ways to spice up the Most High. And I'm not talking about being worldly or doing worldly things. I'm talking about just seeing something or doing something new puts a different spin on the Most High. You understand? So don't just look at life as that you got to sit on the corner and just read scriptures every day. Read your scriptures, make yourself better, make yourself more spiritual, but find a way to change the regular routines that you might be stuck into. You understand? And that might include separating from certain people, man. That might include that too. So these are things that, it works for me. I don't know if it's going to work for you, but it helps me get by in the spirit of the Most High. It is a beautiful country, man. Let me show you if I can get the camera over there. Look at this. Oh, we can see that. Look at, you see them trees, man? Palm trees and all that. You see the ocean? So the ocean, that's the way back home, I guess. But look at this. And this is a cheap spot. I ain't even downtown. But it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful, man. So I'm just saying, man, just find a way to enjoy yourselves, man, and love the Most High. Don't give up on the Most High. And don't give up on yourselves, man. Don't give up on yourselves. Do what's right. And when you make a mistake, get back up and do what's right in the Most High. You know why I say that? Because I know so many brothers and sisters that fought against me and the other brothers in this faith and tried to change around the faith. And the Most High is a woman and just crazy doctrines. And they fought hard. But these brothers and sisters, they're not even around anymore. They're not even around. These brothers and sisters, they somewhere having casual sex, getting high, fighting probably, drunk. They're not even in the faith anymore. So I'm saying, be a warrior. Don't count yourself short. Most High, He's with you. He's with you, man. And all you got to do is things that's right in the Most High, because He's Most High is not giving up on you, man. That's the point I'm trying to make. And you can't give up on the Most High. He loves you, and He will look out for you. He'll look out for you if you do what's right. Here's what I want to read real quick. I want to finish this up. Let's see. The 19th verse of 2 Ezra 15 and 19 says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread." See, we coming to that point. We ain't even there. These little riots, these are a joke. These are the Soros brothers orchestrating this. This is a certain group of people antagonizing the rioters and causing this to stir out of control. But when that bread runs out, when them power grids turn off, when people are angry because they're hungry and they can't feed their children, they're going to be robbing you. And them same Negroes and Hispanics that's out there, they're going to rob each other. You see how they're going all out against the cops and burning down the police cars? They're going to turn on each other because the Spirit of the Lord is not on them. The spirit of the devil is on them, and they're being controlled by the powers that be. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. That's why it says, "But shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation." And for great tribulation. You see that? So that's the real get down I'm ready for, man. That's what I'm looking for, man. I want to see when that transpires, man. When that jumps off, and that's going to be a hell of a thing when that kicks off, man. So get ready for it, man. Get ready for it, because it's going to come, man. And when it comes, boy, hey, man, these Negroes ain't going to know what the hell to do with themselves when that happens, man. Default microphone. Okay, still working. Got real bad signals out here, man. Wi-Fi, sorry. But yeah, let's get ready for that, because the Most High, He's showing His power. He's showing His power. Christians can't see that, but so much. The Most High says in Romans 9 verse 16. So it says, "So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but God that showeth mercy." See, the mercy and the spirit is in God. See, at some point you can't trust in your money. Well, at all points you can't trust in your money. The ignorant of our people, they trust in their money. They trust in feelings and emotions. But we trust in the true and living God that's guiding us. But it says, but what? But of God that showeth mercy. It says, for the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose I have raised thee up. So who raised Pharaoh up? The Most High. He raised Pharaoh up. The same way the Most High, he raised Trump up. To what? To show his power. The Most High is going to use Trump to show his power. That's all it is. The Most High is using who he wants to use to show his power. And a lot of people can't understand that, but that's the truth of the matter. The Most High uses and does what he wants to do. We just got to walk in the spirit. We can't be foolish like our brothers and sisters out there in the world. They don't know the Most High. They don't know the Most High. The Most High, he's an expert chess player spiritually. And what he's doing, he's breaking down the system. Little by little, he's breaking down the system. But he's giving us just enough time to wake up, not be a part of the idiots that's out there riding and acting stupid and not even thinking that this can be all a damn hoax. You know, they don't even think on that level. Hold up real quick. I want to show you another one. I'm going to come back to that. Show this instead. See what the Most High says here? Most High says in the book of Daniel 2, verse 20. Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of the Most High forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. See, everything is in the Lord and in scriptures. You got brothers and sisters who are going all out trying to tell you the Bible is phony. It's not the Most High. Don't listen to them brothers and sisters. Don't listen to those Kemet brothers and sisters. Listen to the Most High. Because when that food runs out, we just read it. Prophecy is that bread is going to run out and people are going to, these same Negroes burning down cars and attacking the police and running in the streets, they're going to turn on each other. They're going to turn on each other. Hispanics and blacks, they're going to turn on each other when the bread run out. But the Lord, he going to feed us. He going to feed us. Trust me, he going to feed you and me that walk in the spirit. 21st verse. He changes the times and the seasons. See, who does that? The Most High. He controls the elements. He changes the winter, spring, summer, and fall. He changes the times and the seasons. Check this part out. He removeth kings. See that? He removeth kings and set up kings. Didn't he remove our kings? We had kings among us. We all went into captivity. And trust me, I believe a lot of us said that could never happen to us. We would never fall. Our kings, servants under the kings, thrones, positions of rulership. I guarantee you that we thought that could never happen to us. But it says he removeth kings and sets up kings. He removed us as kings and set up who? The devil, Esau, the so-called European man, the white man. He put them over you. And he gave them a chance and they said, oh, we're going to change the Bible. We're going to change laws of marriage and men can marry men and women can marry women and we're going to steal money and we're going to rob and we're going to infect people with diseases. We're going to create diseases and create medicines and cures for those diseases so we can make millions of dollars off of sick people. You got to have a sick mind to make people sick or have a cure for a sickness and don't put out that cure just so you can make money through the insurance companies and over-the-counter drugs for sicknesses that can be cured. You got to be a real Dr. Frankenstein madman to do such a thing. But that's what's happening. So it says, he removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them. See this right here. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and the secret things. Again, it says he revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth in him. And the light dwelleth in him. Sorry. I thank thee and praise thee, O Yahweh, of my fathers, who has given me wisdom. See, who gave Daniel wisdom? The Most High. Who gives us the wisdom? The Most High. I quoted Isaiah 33:6 earlier, that knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. Who gives you the knowledge and wisdom? The Most High. What times are these? These are bad times. So you need the knowledge and wisdom of the Most High in these bad, economic, wicked, desperate times. Again, it says, I thank thee and praise thee, O Yahweh of my fathers, who has given me wisdom and might, and has made known unto me what we desire of thee. For thou hast now made known unto us the king's matter. It's going somewhere else, going into the story of Daniel. But my point is, the Most High, he changes rulerships and kings, and he sets them up and he destroys some. So my thing is, or what I'm trying to make you understand, is that the Most High, he does what he wants to do, and he does it for his power. Here it says that back in Romans 9, verse 17, the Lord said, for the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power. See, he's talking about Pharaoh, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name, Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and natives, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. So when America is on fire, man, when the Most High puts the spirit perhaps on Putin to shoot them bombs, when the Most High does these things, man, that's going to be a hell of a thing. That's going to be a hell of a judgment from the Most High. So this is not something to play around with. This is the real deal. And the Most High, he's making it known that this is the real deal, man. So are you going to hang in there? That's the question. And have you prepared your minds, or the minds of your wives and children, for what's up and coming? Because it's going to be a crazy summer. This is going to be a much detailed spiritual awakening summer. I believe it's just a matter of time. But that's neither here nor there. I'm going to go and drink me some beer. I'm going to chill out downstairs, see what these so-called Mexicans are up to, man, and what's happening out here. You brothers and sisters, you be strong and stay in the spirit. I will be back later, probably tonight, do a couple more videos, or throughout the week I'll be doing some more videos. But you brothers and sisters watching news, and take seriously what's happening, because this is crazy, man. Take very serious what's happening. But it's our time, man. It's our time. It's just a little different. It's slow, but at the same time, it's not slow. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. But in other words, the Most High is doing things, and sometimes, I know I tend to get impatient sometimes because I want things to jump off quick. But everything happens in the Most High's time, so you can't expect things to just happen when you want them to happen. But we'll see. We'll see. So stay strong. Watch how you put your foot down, and stay in touch with the Most High, man. Stay in touch with the Most High. Because people love everyone except that's true. Black people love everyone except their own. They're very foolish, man. And it's hard to believe be around black people. You see a lot of people is using that. They talking about black fatigue now, right? Yeah, I see that on the social media. People are constantly using the phrase "black fatigue." People are tired of the bull crap. Hey, shalom up. People are tired of the bull crap. They tired of black people, man, because black people, man, we just like an embarrassment and just what you call it, frustrating, man, very frustrating. I'll get back with you, brothers. Stay strong, stay in the spirit of the Most High. Be back with you, all right? Shalom, I'm out.